You just bought a new TV. It's set up, it's on the wall, and then a week later, your neighbor mentions they got the same size screen, same picture quality, paid almost half what you did. And honestly, it stings a little. Maybe you're on the other side of that. You're looking at a refurbished TV right now, wondering if you're about to make a mistake. Either way, this video is going to clear all of that up for you, because the answer is not as simple as new is better or refurbished is a risk. Stay with me, because what I'm about to walk you through might genuinely change how you buy electronics for the rest of your life. Why this question matters more than you think. Most people spend more time picking a restaurant than they do researching a TV purchase. And that's not a criticism, it's just how it goes. TVs look impressive in the store. The salesperson gives you a pitch, and you make a decision based on what's in front of you. But here's what nobody tells you walking into that store. A TV that was returned after 2 days, tested by a certified technician, reset to factory condition, and repackaged, is functionally identical to a brand new one. In many cases, it's the exact same product. The only thing that changed is the price tag. Now, that doesn't mean every refurbished TV is a good deal. It doesn't mean new TVs are overpriced across the board either. What it means is that where you buy, what you check, and what kind of buyer you are, those things matter far more than the word refurbished on a label. What refurbished actually means. Let's start with something that trips a lot of people up. Refurbished does not mean broken and fixed. It doesn't mean someone used it for 2 years and traded it in. In most cases, it means the TV was returned. Sometimes because the box was damaged in shipping, sometimes because the buyer changed their mind, sometimes because of a minor cosmetic issue that had nothing to do with performance. Once it comes back to the manufacturer or a certified retailer, it goes through an inspection process. Dead pixels, backlight issues, port functionality, software reset, all of it gets checked. Then it's repackaged and sold at a discount. Manufacturer-certified refurbished is the category you want to pay attention to. When you see that label from Samsung, LG, Sony, or through retailers like Best Buy's Geek Squad certified program, you're getting a product that went through a real process, not just someone wiping the screen and boxing it back up. That distinction matters enormously. The price difference is real, and it's significant. Here's a real-world comparison that puts things into perspective. A Samsung QN90D, which is a 4K QLED model, might retail for around $1,200 brand new. The same model, manufacturer-certified refurbished, can often be found for $700 to $800. That's $400 to $500 in your pocket. For a lot of families, that's a month of groceries. That's a car payment. That's real money. And before you say, "But what about the warranty?" We're going to get to that, and it might surprise you. But right now, just let that price difference sit for a moment, because it's the foundation of everything else we're going to talk about. Quick note here, if you're finding this helpful, drop a comment below telling me what size TV you're shopping for and what's holding you back. Whether it's the warranty question, picture quality concerns, or something else entirely. I read every comment, and there are some useful links in the description that might help you narrow things down even faster. Where new TVs actually win? Let's be fair, because this isn't a one-sided argument. There are real situations where buying new makes more sense, and I want to be honest about that. If you're buying a TV that just launched, something from the current model year with brand new panel technology or a processor that wasn't available 12 months ago, you're not going to find that refurbished yet. New technology takes time to cycle through the return and refurbishment process. So if having the absolute latest matters to you, new is your only option. There's also the psychological comfort factor, and I don't want to dismiss that. Some people simply feel better knowing they're the first owner. That peace of mind has value. If uncertainty about previous handling is going to bother you every time you turn the TV on, that stress isn't worth the savings. Additionally, new TVs typically come with a full manufacturer warranty, usually 1 year in most markets. Some retailers offer extended plans on top of that. And if something goes wrong in that window, the process is usually straightforward. Where refurbished TVs win. And this is the surprising part. Here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part most people don't expect. Many certified refurbished TVs come with a warranty too. Not always a full year, but programs like Best Buy's Geek Squad, certified refurbished, often include a 90-day warranty with the option to purchase extended coverage. Samsung's certified refurbished program in several regions offers a full 1-year warranty, the same as new. So the warranty gap that most people assume exists, it's often not as wide as you'd think. And in some cases, it doesn't exist at all. There's another factor worth mentioning. Because refurbished units have already been powered on and inspected, they've essentially passed the most vulnerable phase in a TV's life. Electronics, TVs included, are most likely to have a defect show up in the first few hours of use. If a certified refurbished TV made it through that inspection process without flagging any issues, it's arguably in a more proven state than a brand new unit that hasn't been powered on yet. That's not a guarantee, but it's a real consideration that most buyers never think about. The mistakes people make when buying refurbished. Now let's talk about where things go wrong, because they absolutely can. The biggest mistake people make is buying from an unverified source. Marketplace listings, random third-party sellers, or anything that doesn't clearly state manufacturer certified or retailer certified, those are where the risk lives. A TV someone refurbished in a back room with no testing process is not the same thing as a Samsung or LG certified unit. Not even close. The second mistake is ignoring the return policy. Always know what happens if the TV arrives and there's a problem. Certified programs through major retailers typically give you a return window. Sometimes 14 days, sometimes 30. That's your safety net. If a seller won't tell you the return policy up front, that tells you something important. Third mistake, not checking the cosmetic grading. Many refurbished TVs are graded. Grade A means like new, minimal to no visible wear. Grade B might have light scratches on the bezel or back panel. Grade C could have more noticeable cosmetic issues. None of that affects picture performance, but if you care about aesthetics, or you're mounting it where the sides are visible, it's worth knowing what you're getting. Picture quality. Does it actually differ? This is the question I get more than any other, and the answer is no. Picture quality is not affected by a TV being refurbished. The panel is the panel. If it passed inspection without dead pixels or backlight bleed issues, it's going to produce the same image as a brand new unit with the same specifications. The processor, the color calibration, the refresh rate. 120 Hz is 120 Hz, whether the TV is new or refurbished. 4K resolution doesn't change based on ownership history. What matters is the specific model and its hardware, not whether someone returned it 2 months ago. Where you might notice a difference is if you're buying a heavily discounted refurbished model from a few years back just to save money. An older panel technology is going to look different from a current one. But that's a hardware generation difference, not a refurbished versus new difference. Those are two entirely separate things. and it's important not to mix them up. How to actually shop for a refurbished TV? Let me walk you through a practical approach. Start with the manufacturer's certified refurbished store. Samsung, LG, and Sony all have dedicated sections on their websites. Best Buy's Open Box and Geek Squad certified sections are also reliable. These are your safest starting points. Look at the model number carefully and compare it to the current year's lineup. A TV from 2 to 3 years ago at a significant discount can still be an excellent performer, especially if it was a mid to high-end model when it launched. A top-tier TV from 3 years ago often outperforms a budget new TV from this year. Check the warranty terms before anything else. Confirm the return window. Read the cosmetic grading description. And if you're buying online, look at the shipping and packaging details. TVs are fragile, and a good certified program will pack them properly. One more thing. If you're in a store looking at open box TVs, you can often ask to have the unit powered on before you buy. Look for uniformity in the backlight. Check a few different content types. That 5 minutes of due diligence is worth it. What about smart TV features and software? This comes up a lot, and it's a fair question. Refurbished TVs are reset to factory settings before resale, which means the software is clean. You'll set it up exactly like a new TV. Any streaming apps, account logins, settings from the previous owner, all of that is gone. You're starting fresh. The one thing to be aware of is software update support. Older models do eventually reach the end of their update cycle. If a TV is more than 4 or 5 years old, it may stop receiving operating system updates at some point. For most people, this doesn't matter much in practice. The apps still work. The TV still functions. But if long-term software support is a priority, that's a reason to lean toward a more recent model, refurbished or new. The long-term value. Question. Here's the bigger picture. A TV that costs $600 refurbished versus $1,000 new. If both last 8 years and both perform similarly, you saved $400. Over 8 years, that's $50 a year. Most people spend more than that on a streaming subscription they barely use. Value isn't just about the purchase price. It's about what you actually get for what you spend, over the full life of the product. And when you look at it that way, the refurbished case gets even stronger for practical, everyday viewers who aren't chasing the newest technology every 18 months. Who should buy new, and who should buy refurbished? Buy new if you want the absolute latest model, if you plan to use an extended warranty program tied to the original purchase, or if peace of mind around ownership history genuinely matters to you. Those are all legitimate reasons. Buy certified refurbished if you want strong performance at a meaningfully lower price, if you're comfortable doing a small amount of research up front, and if you're buying from a verified source with a clear return policy. That covers a lot of people, probably more than most folks assume. So, at the end of the day, the best TV is the one that fits your room, your budget, and your actual viewing habits, not the one with the highest price tag or the shiniest box. There are excellent refurbished TVs sitting in certified programs right now that would serve most families beautifully for the next decade. And there are situations where buying new is the smarter move for specific reasons. What I hope you take away from this is a framework, not a rule. Ask where it came from. Ask what the warranty covers. Ask what the return policy is. Those 3 questions will protect you, whether you're buying new or refurbished. If this helped you think through the decision a bit more clearly, leave a comment with what you're shopping for. And if you found value here, sharing it with someone else facing the same choice costs nothing and might save them a few $100s. Links to some of the certified programs I mentioned are in the description. Take care Do your research and make the choice that actually makes sense for you.